Archangel Michael says the hour is heavy, and footsteps are already moving toward your name. He speaks with light that cuts through smoke, pointing to a plan that was arranged in silence and sealed with a smile that looked innocent. You will do this and you will be arrested, because a trap has been set by someone who learned how to echo your voice and copy your steps. He says your path is marked with chalk lines invisible to ordinary eyes. A hand you trusted has been tracing those lines, guiding you toward a doorway that locks from the outside. They studied the routine you follow, measured your kindness, and turned it into a key that opens handcuffs. He names the feeling in your chest that visits at midnight and refuses to leave. It is not only fear, it is recognition, because your spirit senses the shape of what is coming. Your spirit felt the breath of a plan made in the shadows, rehearsed in whispers, and wrapped in fake concern. He shows you the first scene like a slow-moving river of images. A message will appear, short and sharp, asking you to do something that looks small and safe. The message will carry proof that feels familiar, like a voice note, a photo, or a document that looks like it came from a trusted friend. He shows how the sender uses your story against you, pretending they need your quick help. They will say it is urgent and pure, and they will push your compassion like a hidden button. They know your heart acts faster than your fear, and they plan to catch you in that movement. He says the trap is not the request alone, but the timing and the place. The camera that was never there will be there that day, and the witness who never looks up will be wide awake. The door that usually opens will jam, and the path of exit will be blocked by a smiling face holding a phone. He says someone prepared a digital trail with your name on it. The trail was laid in pieces over days, a breadcrumb path that leads toward a fake guilt. Your name was slipped into logs, your number was tagged to locations, and your face was pasted where you never stood. He shows the photo that is both true and false. It captures you at a real time but in a twisted story, shaped by cropping and crafted angles. They will say you handed something, took something, signed something, when the real truth lived outside the frame. He says your kindness became their script. They remembered the time you helped them when no one watched, and they wrote it into a new scene to trap you. They will offer a package for a friend, a file for a deadline, a key for a quick check, and your hand will be the bridge they burn. He shows the face behind the plan, and the face is not angry, it is patient. Patience becomes their weapon, because it allows them to rehearse, adjust, and wait for you to arrive at the exact second. They have been clocking your steps, learning the rhythm of your goodness, and they plan to use it like a switch. He says there are 3 signs that the hour is close. The first sign is the sudden message that insists you act now but refuses a clear explanation. The second sign is an old friend who returns out of nowhere with perfect timing and a perfect memory for things that help their plan. The third sign is a feeling that a room already knew your arrival. You will walk in and notice eyes that do not blink, and a bag on a chair that looks too still. The air will feel thinner, and laughter will sound rehearsed, as if you just stepped into a scene already set. He says the law is only half the problem, the other half is the story told with confidence. They will walk their story into a room and lay it out like a clean sheet, smooth and firm, with ironed edges. They will speak about you as if they raised you, and they will count on the room trusting their certainty more than your truth. He says, do not waste your breath fighting the storm while you stand in the middle of it. Step aside from the center and let the rain hit the ground that was prepared to receive it. Stand 1 inch away from your fear and you will see how the storm loses its grip on your throat. He shows you the move that breaks the sequence. You will not touch the package, the file, or the key that is presented as harmless. You will pause, take a photograph of the scene from your angle, and send it to a witness who does not belong to their circle. He says you will create your own record and keep it safe. You will write the time, the reason given, the person who asked, and the face that stood behind them. This small act will become a light that burns through their fabric of lies when the hour comes. He says, do not reply with anger, reply with structure. Anger is a net they expect you to swim into, but structure is a ladder they did not plan for. You will speak in short lines, clear lines, and you will keep everything in writing. He shows you the second move that changes the day. You will ask for confirmation from the real source they pretend to be. You will choose a different channel, call a different number, and wait for a new sun to rise on their lie. He says the one behind the trap counts on your rush. They need you to move too fast to notice the threads that hold their plan together. When you move slowly, the threads show themselves and the plan looks like a costume with crooked seams. He warns you about the ally who is not an ally. They will offer defense, but only after you are deep in the pit they prepared. They stand at the edge pretending to pull you up while their other hand pushes the dirt. He shows the room where the arrest was meant to happen. A security guard who never stands there will be there, and papers no one ever checks will require checking. The help desk that usually smiles will look away, and a stranger will circle the entrance twice. He says the hour can be delayed and reshaped. You can change the location, the day, and the path by changing one small yes into a gentle not yet. Delay becomes a sword in your hand because their design depends on a narrow window. He shows you how their story will sink under the weight of truth. When the window closes without you inside it, they will push their plan on a weaker foundation. They will rush into the same room without you, and that movement will expose their hands. He says your body remembers the nights you felt watched. Those nights were not empty imagination, they were practice flashes of insight. You felt the eyes because they were there, and the light that touched you came from a phone held low and steady. He says you are not powerless in this script. You are not a character written by their pen, you are the author stepping back into your pages. Your choices begin to color the scene, and your breath becomes the rhythm that guides the chapter. He shows the person who trained them. It was not one mind alone, it was a circle, a whisper group that thrives on desperation and small rewards. They promised influence, favors, a cut of something that glitters, and your silence was the price. He says you will not offer your silence. You will hold your voice like a lantern and point it at every corner they kept dark. You will record, document, and secure, and you will bring your records to a place that does not bow to their faces. He shows you the ally you will find in an unexpected place. This ally does not speak loudly, but they know the rules of rooms and the paths of paper. They will show you the correct desk, the correct form, the correct sentence that closes the door on false claims. He says the hardest part is the wound of betrayal. The face behind the trap is not a stranger from a distant street, the face is familiar to your stories. Your memories with them will try to defend them, but their actions have already made a declaration. He shows you the memory that hurts most. The time you trusted them with a small secret because you believed in their heart. That secret is now a handle on the trap they built, and they pull it without shame. He says do not carry their shame. Set it down where it belongs and refuse to wear it like a coat. You will walk lighter when you let the shame slide back to the hands that shaped it. He shows the night they wanted for you. Blue lights, raised voices, a crowd that pretends not to notice while they film. They plan to take your name and dip it in dirt, then watch you try to wash it with broken water. He says the night will not belong to them. You will not present yourself where their plan expects you. You will stand where truth has a seat, and you will arrive with time-stamped pages that shine. He shows how the story breaks. A detail they forgot will peek through a crack, and an official eye will focus on it. The crack will widen into a gap, and the gap will swallow the script they rehearsed. He says the first reaction you will feel is not victory, it is relief. Relief that feels like air after a long tunnel, relief that tastes like clean water on a dry tongue. Then a quiet strength will rise and settle in your chest. He says you will meet silence that understands. A listener will arrive who does not chase a headline, they will chase accuracy. They will mark the wrong dates, the wrong sequence, the wrong shoes, and the wrong shadows in a photo. He shows the moment the mask falls. The one who planned your fall will stumble over their own memory, saying today when they meant yesterday. Their friend will nod at the wrong time, and the room will notice how their story shakes. He says the cost of your calm will prove priceless. Calm keeps your hands steady, and steady hands hold the pen that writes the truth. When you breathe like a lighthouse, darkness cannot forget where the shore is. He shows you what to gather now. Gather copies of your messages, backups of your calls, and images of places where you stood at the right times. Keep a simple log with dates and reasons, and hold it where no curious eyes can reach. He says change small habits for a short season. Enter buildings through different doors, vary the hours you appear, and meet in open spaces with clear lines of sight. This does not mean living in fear, it means living with wisdom that moves like water around rocks. He shows the gift hidden inside the attack. Your awareness rises and your boundaries learn to speak. You begin to see who respects your name and who only uses it when it fills their empty jars. He says, do not turn your heart to stone. Keep it soft, but protect it with a wall that understands doors and windows. Let love visit, but let wisdom hold the keys. He shows what forgiveness means in this story. Forgiveness is not forgetting the trap or hugging the builder with a blindfold. Forgiveness is reclaiming your mind from their theater, so your sleep belongs to you again. He says justice will move at its own pace. Its feet are slow but precise, and its eyes do not blink when truth stands up. You will see steps you did not expect, and doors you thought were locked will open. He shows the moment you choose not to explain yourself to every voice. Not every voice is owed your breath, not every ear deserves your story. You measure your words and give them to the places that give you back real listening. He says your future does not end in a hallway with cold light. Your future returns to warmth and work, to laughter that holds no knives behind it. It returns to mornings where your name feels clean again. He shows the lesson your spirit keeps. Never rush when urgency arrives without clarity. Always secure your own record before you step into a room where others hold theirs. He says there is a clean table waiting for your next chapter. On that table sits the map of your real calling, untouched by hands that tried to stain it. You will spread it out and trace paths with steady fingers. He shows how you will rebuild trust with yourself first. You promise to pause before you move, and to seek two lights before you cross a dark place. You honor your intuition when it whispers, because it always knew the difference between warm truth and cold tricks. He says the mouth that spoke lies about you will grow dry. Lies need constant watering, and their well begins to fail. They will search for new targets, but your borders now shine like steel. He shows a day when your name helps others stand. Your story becomes a guide that warns them gently about the same kind of net. You will teach them the pause, the record, the second channel, and the steady breath. He says the worst part of this storm will pass. Storms do not live forever, even when they roar like kings. They spend themselves and leave, and the sky remembers how to be blue. He shows the steps you will take now and calls them simple power. Step 1 is to slow your yes. Step 2 is to move the conversation into writing. Step 3 is to create your own witnesses before you enter their scene. Step 4 is to cross-check requests through a verified path that does not belong to the requester. Step 5 is to hold your peace until you stand where calm has a chair. He says you are not late. You arrived at this message at the exact second your spirit needed it. The path you choose today will write different letters than the ones they tried to press into your life. He shows a door that looks familiar but now behaves differently. It opens when you choose it and stays shut when danger stands outside. You are the one turning the handle, not the shadows that used to push it. He says your sleep will become honest again. Night will not bring the echo of running feet, it will bring quiet and the sound of your breath. Morning will not taste like worry, it will taste like clean beginning. He shows you standing at a window with light on your shoulders. You look out at the day and you do not fear the road. Your steps match your heart, and your heart matches the truth you guard. He says the name you carry is stronger than the paper they tried to tape to it. Paper tears, ink fades, and rumors crumble under the patient weight of time. Your name endures because it is held by hands older than the scheme. He shows you placing the last piece of this chapter onto a shelf. It will not rule your hours and it will not claim your laughter. It will sit where lessons sit, available when someone you love needs light. He says the story they planned ends with lights and chains. The story you choose ends with clarity and doors that open to honest work. You do not belong to their ending, you belong to your own true beginning. He shows you walking forward with a calmer spine. You carry your phone not as a distraction but as a tool for proof. You carry your dignity not as a defense but as a natural way of standing. He says keep your circle small and awake. Invite people who love your name more than your image. Stand with those who do not sell your trust for the price of quick applause. He shows the day they realize the trap is empty. They arrive at their prepared corner and find no footsteps, no shadow, no you. They will stare at their own reflection and hear the echo of their plan. He says the light did not abandon you. It moved ahead of you, cleared stones, and left markers only you could recognize. You followed those markers, and your future remained yours. He shows you writing a small promise on paper. You promise to protect your time, your kindness, and your focus with gentle firmness. You promise to listen twice before you move once when the stakes feel hot. He says the arrest they wanted becomes a lesson you survived. The trap they designed becomes a story you outgrew. The name they bruised becomes the name you polish with patient days. He shows you closing this message with your head lifted. You feel the strength of your spine and the softness of your chest. You feel ready for the day that belongs to you. He says he will walk the street with you, unseen but not absent. You will notice doors that smile and roads that are safe. You will notice how your pace changes the air, and how courage clears new space. He says this is not the end of your story, it is the clean turn of a page. The ink ahead waits for your hands, not for the hands that tried to steal your book. Your steps will write lines that do not bow to fear. He shows the last image for today. It is you, standing in your own name, unafraid to breathe. The light holds steady, and your future answers back with peace. The arrest that was never yours, Part 2, the net unravels. Archangel Michael says your next steps decide how the story breathes. He lays a hand on the moment and slows it until the fabric stops shaking. He shows you the threads you can pull that make the trap come apart without tearing your spirit. You wake to a morning that feels measured and exact. The air is clean and the noise outside sounds far away, as if your house has learned to filter trouble. You step carefully and every step answers with calm ground. The phone blinks with a familiar pattern that once tugged your heart. Now the pattern looks like a code you no longer obey. You read slowly, save the messages, and refuse to enter their corridor. A name appears that once carried warmth. It now carries an intention wrapped in cotton. The words invite you to a place where the floor is already marked. You prepare a quiet plan that fits in your pocket. It begins with a list, continues with 2 witnesses, and ends with a clear exit. You hold the plan lightly so it can move with you. A whisper rises that you once ignored. The whisper tells you to look twice at doors and to notice the weight of silence. You nod and let your breath become the anchor for your timing. You write the date at the top of a new page. Under it you record the hour, the name, and the reason given for urgency. The page turns into a mirror that shows the difference between truth and performance. A car waits on the corner where shadows talk. It waits too long and pretends it is not watching. You take a photo from your window and store it in a folder labeled with clarity. You call the true source using a channel they never planned. A steady voice confirms that nothing is needed and nothing was sent. Your shoulders release a tension you had been carrying like a coat that did not fit. Archangel Michael says small refusals can move mountains when the mountain is made of lies. He says your no carries holy weight when it protects your name. He says patience in your bones becomes iron in your steps. The message turns insistent and then it turns sweet. It tries praise and then it tries guilt. You let both attempts pass through you like wind through an open field. The day waits for you to choose how you will use its hours. You choose to visit places where your name has been seen honestly. You greet people who recognize your steady light and not the smoke around you. A familiar face appears from the edge of the past. They smile with eyes that do not match their mouth. You smile back without giving them your time. You step into a building with cameras that tell clean truth. You document your arrival and your reason for being there. You leave a breadcrumb of honesty on floors that remember footsteps. They send another message with a new story dressed as help. You reply with a copy to a trusted inbox you set up last night. You watch the bait unhook itself when it realizes the fish has learned the water. The circle that plotted expected tremble and rush. They find calm and documentation. Their plan begins to sweat under lights they did not control. You meet the ally who knows the language of forms and dates. They look at your folder and nod like a surgeon examining clean stitches. They tell you which desk listens without yawning and which door opens without drama. You walk the route and collect the correct stamps. Each stamp is a small guard that stands in front of your name. The guards line up until the gate cannot be kicked without noise. A night passes without the echo of running feet. The moon feels like a friend that remembers your real face. You sleep with the window cracked and let the cool air wash the story. Morning brings a letter with an official header. It confirms a detail that looked small yesterday and now glows like a beacon. The times do not match, and the places disagree with the photo they prepared. Archangel Michael says truth is patient and sharp. He says it does not need to shout when evidence walks on steady legs. He says your job is to keep the pathway clear so truth can arrive on time. The person who tried to steer you calls with sugar in their voice. You let the call roll to a record that never forgets. Later you read the transcript and file it like a clean tile in a strong floor. You visit a cafe where the tables face the street. You sit with your back to a wall and your eyes on the door. You invite two witnesses with calm smiles to share a slow drink. The orchestrator enters and pretends surprise. They speak about weather while their eyes count your hands. You let them talk and let time do its quiet work. The topic shifts to the errand they once insisted was urgent. You ask for their explanation in one straight line and then you fall silent. They answer with smoke, and the witnesses see the shape of it. A second figure slips in and takes a chair as if by accident. You recognize them from a hallway months ago. Their habit is to watch exits and measure reactions. You do not perform. You breathe and you write a name on a napkin and date it. You photograph the napkin and send it to a folder that does not blink. The circle notices you are writing your own chapter. They try to rush the ending before your pages harden. They push a sudden change of place and you answer with a gentle "not today." Schedules shift and their net sags. The person paid to call a certain number at a certain hour waits in the wrong room. The camera pointed at the wrong door records nothing but air. Your ally meets you with a printout that should not exist in their hands. It shows your actual location during the time they placed you elsewhere. The printout is notarized and carries the stiffness of verifiable ink. Someone inside their circle sends a message that drips with fear. The message warns you without admitting it is a warning. You archive it with a note that says fear cracks even the loudest mask. You walk into an office where floors shine like glass. You hand over your folder and watch pages turn with care. You answer with facts that sit upright and do not wobble. A question of sequence lands on the table like a stone. The other side cannot move it without breaking their own foot. Dates argue with dates, and the calendar refuses to lie. The room grows quiet in a helpful way. Quiet allows the sound of truth to be heard more